I'll start the invocation. Sadashivasamārambhām Shankaracharya-madhyamām Asmadacharya-paryantam Vande Guru-paramparam. Shruti-smriti-purāṇānaṁ Alayam Karuణālayam Namami Bhagavad-pada Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. 8 to 11. Someone wants to try? Or someone wants to follow after I chant? You can say that.
Yeah, I followed it.
Huh. Okay. Kate kanta kaste putraha
Kate kanta kaste putraha
Sansaro yamativa vichitraha
Samsaro yamativa vichitraha
Kasya tvam kaha kuta ayataha
Kasya tvam kaha kut ayataha
Tatvam chintaya tadiha prataha
Tatvam chintayata diha bhrataha
Kate kanta kaste putraha samsaro yam tiva vichitraha
Kate kanta kaste putraha samsaro yamativa vichitraha
Kasya tvam kaha kuta ayataha tatvam chintaya tadiha prataha
Tasya tvam kaha kut ayataha tatvam chintayata diha bhrataha
Satsangatve nissangatvam nissangatve nirmohatvam
Satsangatve nissangatvam nissangatve nirmohatvam
Nirmohatve nischalatatvam nischalatatve jivan muktihi
Nirmohatve nischal tattvam nischal tattve jivan muktihi
Not nischal, nischala.
Nischal Nirmohatve nischal tattvam nischal tattve jivan muktihi
Satsangatve nissangatvam nissangatve nirmohatvam nirmohatve निश्चलतत्त्वं निश्चलतत्त्वे जीवन्मुक्तिः.
सत्सङ्गत्वे निस्सङ्गत्वं निस्सङ्गत्वे निर्मोहत्वं निर्मोहत्वे निश्चलतत्त्वं निश्चलतत्त्वे जीवन्मुक्तिः.
Good. By anybody else wants to try? Let's give someone else a chance.
Diptiji, please, may I try?
Yes. वयसि गते कः कामविकारः
वयसि गते कः कामविकारः
शुष्के नीरे कः कासारः
शुष्के नीरे कः कासारः
क्षीणे वित्ते कः परिवारः
क्षीणे वित्ते कः परिवारो
ज्ञाते तत्त्वे कः संसारः
ज्ञाते तत्त्वे कः संसारः.
While I'm chanting, I know we are missing out on the Sandhi rules, but we are just keeping it like this. Maybe later on we'll improve on it with the Sandhi rules also. But first, as I'm just repeating again and again in between, so that we're all clear, this is not the final chanting. There is one more layer of improvement, which is with the Sandhi rules, but after we have picked up the tune and the words. Okay. वयसि गते कः कामविकारः शुष्के नीरे कः कासारः
वयसि गते कः कामविकारः शुष्के नीरे कः कासारः
क्षीणे वित्ते कः परिवारः ज्ञाते तत्त्वे कः संसारः
क्षीणे वित्ते कः परिवारः ज्ञाते तत्त्वे कः संसारः
वयसि गते कः कामविकारः शुष्के नीरे कः कासारः क्षीणे वित्ते कः परिवारः ज्ञाते तत्त्वे कः संसारः
वयसि गते कः कामविकारः शुष्के नीरे कः कासारः क्षीणे वित्ते कः परिवारः ज्ञाते तत्त्वे कः संसारः
मा कुरु धनजन यौवनगर्वम्
मा कुरु धनजन यौवनगर्वं
हरति निमेषात् कालः सर्वम्
हरति निमेषात् कालः सर्वं
मायामयमिदमखिलं बुद्ध्वा
मायामयमिदमखिलं बुद्ध्वा
मायामयमिदमखिलं बुद्ध्वा
मायामयमिदमखिलं बुद्ध्वा
मिदमखिलं
निदमखिलं
mid
बुद्ध्वा
mi not ni midamakhilam midamakhilam
निदमखिलं बुद्ध्वा
ब्रह्मपदं त्वं प्रविश विदित्वा
ब्रह्मपदं त्वं प्रविश विदित्वा
मा कुरु धनजन यौवनगर्वं हरति निमेषात् कालः सर्वम्
मा कुरु धनजन मा कुरु धनजन मा कुरु धनजन यौवनगर्वं हरति निमेषात् कालः सर्वं
हरति निमेषात् not hariti
sorry Dipti ji
not hariti harati ha you said hariti you said hariti not e ki matra just harati Hmm.
मा कुरु धन जन यौवन गर्व हरति निमेषात् कालः सर्वम्
मायामयमिदमखिलं बुद्ध्वा ब्रह्मपदं त्वं प्रविश विदित्वा
मायामयमिदमखिलं बोद्ध्वा ब्रह्मपदं ब्रह्मपदं तत्.
Okay. This has two variations in pronunciation. We are going to follow the first the makar and then the hakar. There are two different schools in pronunciation. Some will actual through the sutras, the hakar should come first. So, but through the sutras, the makar comes first. So we are going to chant that. But there are people who say her first. So we are going to do Brahma. The other
Brahm,
the other way of doing it is easier. Brahma. Ha first and then ma. Brahma. But we will follow Brahma. Ma first and then ha.
Brahma.
The reason why we are following it is because there is a in the Shiksha, the phonetic sutras, the sutra has been laid out where the hakar, which comes as a consonant, the consonant gets pronounced first. So there's a sutra there. So based on that, we are going to be doing Brahma. Okay. Brahmapadam tvam pravisha viditva
Brahmapadam tvam Brahmapadam tvam pravisha videtva.
Ma kuru dhana jana yauvana garvam harati nimeshat kala sarvam.
मा कुरु धन जन यौवन गर्वं हरति निमेषात् कालः सर्वम्
मायामयमिदमखिलं बुद्ध्वा ब्रह्मपदं त्वं प्रविश विदित्वा
मायामयमिदमखिलं बोद्ध्वा ब्रह्मपदं त्वं प्रविश विदित्वा.
Very good. Thank you. Next
Thank
verse,
you,
someone wants to
Dipti.
try? Yes. Divya, you want to?
May I repeat it?
I think saw Divya's hand first. Is
Okay,
that
okay.
okay? Yeah. Uh,
मां कुरु धन जन यौवन गर्वं हरति निमेषात् कालः सर्वम् मायामयमिदमखिलं बुद्ध्वा ब्रह्मपदं त्वं प्रविश विदित्वा.
the first line, follow after me. Ma kuru dhana jana yauvana garvam.
मां कुरु धन जन यौवन गर्वं
Dhana jana yauvana garvam.
मां कुरु धन जन यौवन गर्वं
Do it again.
मां कुरु धन जन यौवन गर्वं
Harati nimeshat kala sarvam.
हरति निमेषात् कालः सर्वम्
Maya mayamidam akhilam buddhva.
मायामयमिदमखिलं बुद्ध्वा
Maya mayamidam akhilam buddhva.
मायामयमिदमखिलं बुद्ध्वा
Brahmapadam tvam pravisha viditva.
ब्रह्मपदं त्वां प्रविश्य विदित्वा.
Good. We'll follow the next verse also. Dinyaminyau sayam pratah
दिन्यामिन्यं सायं प्रातः
Shishiravasantau punarayatah.
शिशिरवसन्तौ पुनरायातः
कालः क्रीडति गच्छति sorry कालः क्रीडति गच्छत्यायुः
कालः क्रीडति गच्छत्याहुः
तदपि न मुञ्चत्याशावायुः
तदपि न मुञ्चत्याशावायुः
I'm going to repeat the verse. Just hear first, everyone. Dinayaminyau sayam pratah shishiravasantav punarayatah kalah kridati gacchatyayuh tadapi na munchatyashavayuh.
दिनयामिन्यौ सायं प्रातः शिशिरवसन्तौ पुनरायातः कालः क्रीडति गच्छन्त्याहुः तदपि न मुञ्चत्याशावायुः
Good, good. Someone else wants to try? Especially if you are weak in pronunciation, it's a good opportunity to open your tongue. If you already have it, it's okay. Great. Ji, Maitli ji, you wanted to say? 11th and 12th.
आकुरु धन जन यौवन गर्वं हरति निमेषात् कामनः सर्वं मायामयमिदमखिलं भूत्वा ब्रह्मपदं त्वं प्रविश विदित्वा दिनयामिन्यौ सायं प्रातः शिशिरवसन्तौ पुनरायातः कालः क्रीडति गच्छत्यायुः तदपि न मुञ्चत्याशावायुः.
Very good. Great. So, thank you. We'll start with the class now. We done this verse in the last class, did we? Yeah, okay. So just to
Just a
quickly,
little bit. Just a little.
I thought so also.
That's
Was
right.
okay. So we'll start from here. Now here Shankara is warning us of few things. Okay, let me restate. I'm restating the sentence. What is a changeless fact regarding the world? That it is changing. This is a changeless fact. What is a changeless fact regarding the world? That it is constantly changing. This fact remains changeless. Now, Shankara brings up these certain points, indicators. Like I said in the last class, these are our pins that we place to identify at a larger, in a larger scope. Whatever is ephemeral, temporary, in existence, our dependence for happiness on it should also be temporarily arranged or temporarily placed. If on a temporary thing I place a temporary happiness, whatever happiness it can give, but my understanding is firm, See, even if the classes are online, and there'll be, because yeah, I wasn't saying anything. I was thinking whether I should say what I'm about to say, and I've decided I'm saying what I'm saying. Uh, because the classes are online, we will have some disturbance or the other coming. There are times when we may have to attend to something urgent and things. Preferably, let us keep this time as if you're physically there in another class. If you go to another class, would you have these interruptions in the class? Would you be attending to your phone calls? Would you do something like that? No. So there is a particular discipline that a Shastra study involves for us. Whether the classes are now online doesn't matter. Our discipline for them should remain as if these are physical classes. So, in case there is an urgency, only at that time. Otherwise, it's good to have your cameras on. But in case there is an urgency and someone's taking your attention, switch off your camera first and then respond to it, so that there is no distraction. More than distraction, it is the maryada of the Shastra Vidya. We have been, initially, I used to be fairly strict about it, then we just left it because to each one their understanding. But somewhere one just feels one should keep reminding ourselves. We all slip, I slip into it also. It's a good thing to remind ourselves. Just because it's online, it doesn't cease to become a Shastra study. It is still a Shastra study. And therefore, it is up to us. This is Shankara Bhagavata Pada Vakyam. ये उन्हीं का रचित है, ये उनके शब्द हैं. ये कोई लौकिक जीवन में लौकिक जीव की शब्द नहीं है. So when in our minds we place, we all do, I know, there is no doubt in our thing, but that little practical thing also. Okay, so having said that, let's move on. uh, he says whatever is temporary, in the world, let us not, in the past I had said, I have always said, let us not look for happiness in those things as a inherent nature that we have. Whatever is temporary in existence, first and foremost, we understand everything in the world is temporary. So here Shankara has given us a few things, pointed out here three things in particular, that can become reason for our happiness, and we look upon them as a source of happiness. We become dependent upon them as a source of happiness, and that source that we are imparting on those objects or beings or people, situations, that if we can also adjust a temporary value on it. I'm repeating myself just in case the thought flow was not clear. Shankara has, Shastra says, and therefore Shankara says, let's understand. First, Shastra says, what Shastra says, Shankara says. What Shankara says is what we are learning now. What is he saying? The world has changeless fact. What is a changeless fact about the world? That everything is changing. We have heard this billion times. But what needs an adjustment in our thinking, in our outlook, is what are the things on which, knowing that they are temporary, we still attribute a dependent happiness on them. They give us an identity, they give us the sense of fulfillment through them. But fact is, anything that's temporary cannot contribute to my fullness. Temporary ka matlab by definition hai that it has begun and which ends. What has begun and what ends cannot give me fullness. ये तो पक्की बात है. There should be no doubt, right? What is billion plus billion, crore plus crore, 1,000 crores plus 1,000 crores, whatever is highest number, koti koti, koti koti, koti 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 koti. Keep on adding them. Will it ever become infinite? It can't. What is your seeking of happiness? Your seeking of happiness is that it has to be always felt. हमारे सुख का हमें आशा क्या है? हमें कोई सुख अगर आता है तो हमें आशा क्या है? इट हैज टू बी ऑलवेज देयर. हमें हमेशा सुखी रहने की इच्छा है. इट शुड बी लास्टिंग. हमारी उस सुख में आया है वो बहुत सुख है कि हमें कुछ खुशी है, लेकिन उस खुशी में हमारा एक कंडीशन जुड़ा हुआ है. उस खुशी में एक हमारी आशा पेग्ड है. व्हाट इज दैट? इट शुड, ये रहनी चाहिए. This should last. This must, these words may be different for all of us, but that you boil it down, where does it boil down? That it should be changelessly there. जब मुझे आनंद का, जब भी मैं जानूं, मैं अपने आप को आनंदी जानूं, आनंद ही मेरा स्वभाव हो, आनंद में मैं रहूं. when बड़े बुजुर्ग आशीर्वाद भी देते हैं तो क्या आशीर्वाद देते हैं? आनंदी भव, सदा आनंदी भव, सदैव आनंदी भव.
खुश रहो,
सदैव, हाँ, खुश रहो. हिंदी में कहीं से खुश रहो. सदैव आनंदी भव means actually if you undo the ashirvad, what does it become? Sadaiva anandi bhava means what? The world is never going to be sadaiva permanently there to give you happiness. Sadaiva anandi bhava means may you become your own original being, which is sadaiva anandi. May you identify it, may you touch it, may you return to that source. The more you have come out into the world of senses and depending your happiness on them, I'm repeating, the more we have come out into the world and depending our happiness on senses and their engagements in the world, I'm repeating once more, the more we have come out into the world, the more dependent we have got on the world, looking for the same happiness, which is actually Sadaiva Anandi, which is your Swabhav, which is your Swarup. That means that much more distance I have created as if from my own Sadaiva Anandi state. That being of me, which is Sadaiva Anandi, it doesn't depend on conditions, but that orientation that has to take place. He says 3 things, if you look at it, which can give you a high state of achievement and happiness, a subtle form of garvam. He uses the word garvam. Garvam means you take an ownership on it. Mera, main, I am wealthy, I am successful, I am beautiful. That garvam jo aata hai, that overemphasis of your own being on a temporary thing. मैं हूं is my आनंद स्वभाव, बट मैं हूं को मैंने ट्रांसफर कर दिया. मैं हूं आनंदी बाय स्वभाव नित्य आनंदी. But somehow, the more I have gone out into the world, identified with my body, that Anand, I have placed it on the world and its objects and achievements. धन मेरी प्राप्ति हुई तो मैंने उस आनंद को किसके साथ जोड़ दिया? धन के साथ जोड़ दिया. मैंने कमाया, मेरा पैसा, मेरा whatever. Without the dhan, who are you? Ji, what? Maitli ji, what are you saying? Okay. Without dhan, what are you? Nirdhan. You are nirdhan. You feel you are nirdhan. Without dhan, you feel you are nirdhan. But actually speaking, you are the real dhani. You are actually anandi. You are actual dhan. वो आपका स्वभाव है, वो आपका स्वरूप है, वो जा ही नहीं सकता. But what happened? Temporarily, not realizing, you went away from that swarupam of yours and landed that condition on the prapti of the dhan. धन पे डाल दिया, उस आनंद को धन पे डाल दिया। होने से मैं खुश हूं, नहीं होने से मैं दुखी हूं। अगर है तो आई हैव हैप्पीनेस, नहीं है तो आई डोंट हैव हैप्पीनेस। ये जो कंडीशन आ गई है, Shankara says here that pride you are having when you have wealth, examine that, understand that this is subject to harati, कालह हरति। ये काल में आई है आपके। धन आपके पास कब आया? काल में आया। आप पैदा पैसे के साथ नहीं हुए थे, आप पैदा अपनी रेखा में लाए, अपनी किस्मत में लाए। आप कैसे लाए, पैसा कैसे लाए आप, लेकिन जब आप पैदा हुए थे तो आप साथ नहीं लाए थे। As you keep growing up, something brings the wealth. That means there was an initial point of the starting of having acquired wealth. Like I said, the first time, मेरे लिए अच्छा है, I love to take that example because it's very, I enjoy it. Once in a while, I still do that. I pick up a note and I say, my God, yeah, that feeling that this is mine is so stupid because moment before उसके हाथ में थी and he had the same feeling. I can't get over this fascination. मुझे बहुत मजा आता है इस सोच में, बहुत ही ज्यादा मजा आता है मुझे इस सोच में, सोच के कि ये मैं हम करते हैं इस वेल्थ के ऊपर। ये थोड़ी देर पहले मेरी नहीं थी एंड अभी मैं इसको ये देने वाली हूँ किसी और को। ये मेरी वेल्थ का काल कितना है, मेरी वेल्थ का ये काल का एग्जिस्टेंस इन टाइम कितना है? जस्ट अबाउट एज मच एज इट इज इन कॉन्टैक्ट विद माई फिजिकल बॉडी। कालः हरति, because it has come in time, it will also go away. It cannot be permanent. By definition, ये permanent नहीं है. Therefore, it is actually a very practical advice. For whom is this a practical advice? For ones who depend their happiness on conditions like this. Therefore, dhana is one thing, and you can replace dhan with anything else that one has pride in, any possession that dhan can bring. There is an auto correction always. What is that auto correction? Kala harati. And not a warning. It won't give you a warning. You know, just now when there were floods and we saw all these homes in these hill stations, some of them, their life savings, earnings, everything. And people have recorded the demolition of the house, natural calamity, took it away. Harati, nimeshat kalaha sarvam. In a moment. Now, if one is really a student of, a seeker of truth examination, when this statement is given to someone, what should be your emotional response to that statement? Normally, what happens to people? When you say Kalaha Harati Sarvam, normally, averagely, what happens to people? What is your natural emotional response to it?
डिप्रेस
डिप्रेस
हो जाते हैं,
हो जाते हैं, डर जाते हैं, घबरा जाते हैं. All that is a natural response. But if you're a student of Vedanta, of permanent values, trying to understand, trying to absorb, struggling to figure out what is the Shastra saying and what am I, if you're just a student, what is this statement going to become to you?
change is inevitable, so get used to it.
Change is inevitable, you get used to it. Yes. How does that statement? Samatva Buddhi also very good later. Yes.
You give it the right value.
You'll give it a right value. Correct. Yes.
Nothing is permanent.
Nothing is permanent. Correct. Samatva, you give it a right value is excellent. Samatvam, all this perfect. Throughout, you will find that your emotional response to this statement is you are thankful something is going to prepare you. You've been given knowledge. Knowledge is now going to prepare because ये तो कभी भी हो सकता है. What is Shastra telling us here? Shankara is telling us what is inevitable. Doesn't mean it will always happen, but it can
So it
happen.
also gives you the strength then. It also
Exactly,
gives you.
because it keeps you prepared, mentally ready. That's your emotional response. It need not happen, but it can happen is the emotional response. I'm ready for it. It need not happen. My wealth may sustain my life, but I will not be deluded that this is my wealth and it will sustain my life. I'll always be thankful that it has sustained my life, that it is my wealth, that ownership on it will just not develop. And that is the bhagyam. I am going to be extremely assertive of certain things now. ये भाग्यम है ज्ञान का, और ये ज्ञान भाग्यम आता है शास्त्र अनुग्रह से. ये एक प्रोटेक्शन है against whatever can happen at any time. If I'm not ready for that, then there is this, he's going to talk anyway. Sansar is, we know it. Therefore, dhana garvam ma kuru. Do not do. Kuru, mat karo. Instead, kya karo? Bhaj Govindam.
Gratitude.
Bhaj Govindam karo. That kuru word, remember? Bhaj Govindam, Govindam bhaja. Moodamate samprapte sannihite kale nahi nahi rakshati dukri karane. That doing was the root whose meaning is karane. Ratna mat karo of all these laukik pursuits. And certainly have no, he's going to talk to us in the next verse. I'll wait for it when he calls us that in the next verse. Therefore, do not spend your time in thinking my wealth, how do I earn wealth? Because इसमें अपने गर्वम में धन गर्वम मा कुरु, but किंतु भज गोविंदम कुरु. What a change of direction. Just with one pointer, one peg, one pin. Dhana garvam ma kuru, kintu bhaj govindam kuru. Next, jana garvam. Jana garva means following. Following means children, everybody, whoever looks up to you. Everybody has someone, at least a handful of people who look up to you. You know, there's nobody in this world that you will not have at least one person who looks up to you. Everybody has someone or the other whom you inspire. Jana garvam. If you're a boss, your subordinate looks up to you. If you're a parent, your child looks up to you. Whether you are the most devilish person on the planet as a parent, even then your child will think, as long as it's a child, still a child. Even if you're a devilish parent, what does your child think you are? God. For the child, you're still God, even though you are a devil incarnate yourself as a parent. Still, the child sees him as a God. कोई तो होता ही है जो आपको आपसे इंस्पायर होता है. Ma kuru jana garvam. Identify. In fact, when you identify this, I should not have ma kuru. Don't do. It's a very simple advice. Such a simple nazariya, such a simple statement. Ma kuru jana garvam. In English, you would say it's a moral science lecture. It's not a moral science. It's a direction to your subtle body. गर्वम होना इज नेचुरल. जो चीज की हम लगाव से किसी चीज के लिए, प्राप्ति के लिए, सुख के लिए लगते हैं और जब वो मिलती है तो गर्वम होना इज अ नेचुरल रिस्पॉन्स. Shankara is saying, warning us, Makuru, be careful this natural response that will come up to your achievements in life, to your following in life. Next point, he's saying to your youthful stage in life, ये जो एक गर्वम एक्सप्रेस होता है उस वक्त, माँ कुरु. We were really blessed when we heard the Bhaj Govindam for the first time. We were Yauvan only stage. In that Yauvana stage, when you hear, you just reached your 20s, early 20s, and you're looking forward to a whole life ahead of you, and and the statement comes, Ma Kuru Yauvana Garvam. For a moment, there is a disorientation. Then what am I to do? Yauvana Garvam Ma Kuru. Do not have this pride that you are young and you can do this and you can achieve this, and there's a certain delusion at that age. And when you come to this age, as our age now, suddenly you realize, oh, that stage folds away into absolute non-existence. Just as when we grow into teens, our childhood stage has gone into non-existence. We cannot tap back into that stage. In the same way, when manifestation of the sharir has taken its full expression, a garvam is possible. And here we are saying garvam in a positive way. It means arrogation. But you can take it as dehoham in any sense, even as negative. Self condemnation is all another side of self arrogation. So, ma kuru. Why? Do not do. And this is where our shastra is called a shastra. हर बार वो कुछ ऐसी एडवाइस देते हैं, they will always base it on reason. वो आपको साथ में एक कारण बताते हैं, सिर्फ एक मैंडेट नहीं देते. डू नॉट लाई is not just given as a mandate. Do not lie. There is a reason given behind it. Do not lie is not a mandate given in our Shastra. I'm taking it as an example. Do not have garvam and dhana, jana, yauvana, etc. Why? Harati nimeshat kala sarvam. Understand the nature. उसका स्वभाव है. Harati nimeshat, nimesh, in a blink of an eye. It is not going to give you a warning. It will not come in stages. Warning number 1, I will give you 3 warnings. First warning, I will take away your wealth. By the end of the year, be prepared. Then, after another 3 months, another warning. I will, no, without warning. No warning at all. Nimeshat, in the blink of an eye. Kalaha, the time, itna bhi waqt nahi lagega usko. And it can take away. When it says it can take away, I'm again reminding ourselves, to whom is this statement being made? जो samsari है उसको मुमुक्षु बनाने के लिए. What is it? If you are a seeker of the truth, then these statements are your blessings in life, because you're in a prepared mode. I need to be preparing myself. Nimeshat kalah sar, wherever I have a dependent happiness, in any object or person, whoever is contributing to my happiness today, I have to be ready mentally that nimeshat kalah sarvam. Maya mayam idam akhilam sarvam. All this is of the nature of change. Maya mayam idam. नाम रूप बदल के आता है. The clay has become a pot has become a vase has become, how we change our things, and a vase has then become again clay and gone. Maya Mayamidam. Whatever you see today as steady and as firm, as real, know that its real nature is Mike. ये जो आपको permanent लग रहा है, ये permanent नहीं है, ये माइक है. When you go to a sunrise point or a sunset point, it was very beautiful. I still remember a cruise I went to, and I was the only one on the boat because I wanted to see a sunrise. Everybody has late nights. So I was there early morning, sitting all alone on this deck over there and waiting in an ocean to see the sunrise. How long is that happiness going to be? माया माया मितम. जैसे जैसे उग रहा है वैसे वैसे जा रहा है. It's coming to full expression. That is the, these are to be thought about. The more one thinks on these lines, the more one reflects. When you have, when there's no class, reflect, take out time in the day, reflect over the statement, not just think about it as if कुछ करना है, कुछ सोचना है. Maya mayam idam akhilam sarvam. All this is maya mayam. All this is of the nature of change. And change is based on a changeless existence. वो सत्यम है. Like last time I said, the screen is satyam. What is the movie on the screen? Maya. That movie that I'm seeing on the screen, what is it? What is it? Maya. Why is it Maya? While it is not there, it is capable of making me cry and laugh. मूवी के सीन के हिसाब से, if it's a very sad scene, I cry with the protagonist. If it's a very happy scene, the protagonist is having a very happy moment, I laugh, I enjoy it, I identify with what's happening on the movie, in the movie. Reason there. Is this movie real? Is it real? And yet it is capable of giving me emotions. Yet it is capable of giving me an experience. Based on that experience, I'll say this movie was good or bad. Because that Mike movie, again, I'm saying it's fascinating when you have to start clinching these statements in your life. उस दृष्टि में अपनी बुद्धि को स्थिर बनाने के लिए जब आप विचार शुरू करते हो, तो what is a vichar that you will have along with this line? This movie that I'm seeing, which is actually, even while you're crying along with that, what will happen? I remember, what will happen when you're crying along with the movie? And then this verse comes, Maya, Maya, Medam Akhilam Buddhva. अरे मूवी देखने आए हो आप, माया है फिर भी देखने आए हो, फिर क्या देख रहे हो? जो देख रहे हो एक्सपीरियंस कर रहे हो. That experience, it's just reflect, ये रियल है क्या एक्सपीरियंस? आपका दुख जो आपको उस वक्त हो रहा है, क्या ये सच में दुख है? क्या ये सच का दुख है? हाँ, हाउ कैन यू एक्सप्लेन दिस? क्या ये सच का दुख है? सच में दुख है क्या ये? Tell me some रोने धोने की movie that, or some sad scene, or some happy scene.
Geeti ji, Bagban.
I don't know although that movie much, but if you say okay then, हाँ, रोना आता है तब उस मूवी में, हाँ, रोना आया, ठीक है ना? ये रोना रियल है, लेकिन रियल रोना आया ना, आंसू तो रियल लगे, अपने निकले ना आंसू तो. मूवी रियल है, सच में हुआ क्या ये? इज इट अ ट्रू स्टोरी? इज बागबान अ ट्रू स्टोरी? But why does it have the potential to make me cry? Because मुझे अपनी भी स्टोरी दिखती है वहाँ.
We identify with that.
Because मुझे भी अपनी स्टोरी दिखती है वहाँ. We identify with it. Because I identify with it, मुझे भी दिखता है. What has given me that crying in that? What made me cry? And how will I counter it? My emphasis is on that. As you're giving example also, you're involved in Bhagwan. आपको अभी भी, I know, joke. मतलब, I'm just explaining a point. What is it? It looks real. But what is that real actually? That movie is a constructed movie. Authors have dialogued it. Yes, based on a universal human experience, because they want to make a movie which will earn them money. Story writing is also a technique. If they are going to write a story which nobody identifies with, what is the point of writing a story? They won't make money. So they are making money because they are writing a story which you will also say, मेरे साथ भी हुआ. Correct. It's a story written by someone, directed by someone, acted by someone. There is a whole cast behind it, projected on a screen where though they are not even real characters. It's not even theater. It's a movie. That movie, which is only a projection, is capable of giving me an experience of happiness and sadness. This is Maya. यही माया है जो है ही नहीं सत्य में, बट वो फिर भी मुझे एक इमोशन दे देगा, वो फिर भी मुझे एक एक्सपीरियंस दे देगा, और वो एक्सपीरियंस मुझको रियल लगेगा. नो दिस होल जगत टू बी बुद्धवा, having known. Buddhva is a specific term. Having known. There's an alternate pathantaram. Pathantaram means two different manuscripts, because in those days there were only Shravanam, heard and remembered and passed on, and then we started writing it. So when manuscripts were made before printing era came, so somebody must have made a little change in the manuscript. So there are two manuscripts floating in the world, with Hitva as one word and Buddhva as another word. We stick to Buddhva, but Hitva means having given up all this Maya, Mayam, Idam, Akhila. Give it up. Buddhva means knowing that this is Maya, Midam. जान के कि ये तो माया है. And it'll be fascinating. Take it as an exercise sometime. अगर किसी मूवी में कभी रोना आ रहा है ना बहुत ज़्यादा, या कभी बहुत ज़्यादा हंसी आ रही है किसी मूवी को देख के, suddenly tell yourself at that time, ये तो माया है. What will happen to your crying? It'll be fascinating. रुक जाएगी, आधे रास्ते रुक जाएगी, आपकी हंसी आधे रास्ते रुक जाएगी, because ये तो real है ही नहीं. That's why he's calling us, oh मूढ़ा, oh fools. What are you attaching yourself on? कि जगत माया है, सारा ऐसा ही माया है, just exactly as a movie on a screen. That means all things that make my life so far, the 40, 50, 60 years of my life, all that is happening is what? Maya, Mayam, Idam, Jagat. All these experiences are like that, changing experiences. Having known this, Brahma Padam, enter your own state of your own Brahman. उस पद पे, उस स्थान पे, उस स्टेट, उस बीइंग दैट यू आर ब्रह्मन, योर ओरिजिनल स्थान दैट यू हैव, उस स्थान को छोड़ के आप आज कहाँ, हम किस स्थान में बैठे हैं? गिवन अप द ग्लोरी ऑफ मी बीइंग ब्रह्मन, वेयर एम आई सिटिंग? इन दिस शरीर. उस स्थान को छोड़ के इस शरीर में बैठ के, नाउ आई एम अ बेगर begging for my happiness in the world. Having known that this is all Maya, Mayam, give it up. छोड़ दो इसको, इसका मोह यहाँ पे त्यागो, मोह को छोड़ो. ब्रह्म पदम त्वम प्रविश विदित्वा. Viditva, having known. That's why somebody must have changed it to Hitva. Buddhva and having known, Viditva will repeat itself in meaning. So they must have give it up as Maya Midam, having known this position of Brahman, enter it means establish yourself in that. कैसे establish करोगे? First verse. Bhaj Govindam, Bhaj Govindam. Keep staying with it throughout your life. Pursuit should be on that. Brahma Padam, Bhaj Govindam, Bhaj Govindam. Your entire life journey should be on the track of Bhaj Govindam, Bhaj Govindam. What is Bhaj Govindam? What is satsang? What the जीवन की पटरी उसके ऊपर चलनी चाहिए. जीवन उस पटरी पे चलनी चाहिए. Now in the next verse he says, I just chant this once so that you can hear. दिन्यामिन्यौ सायं प्रातः शिशिरवसन्तौ पुनरायातः कालः क्रीडति गच्छत्यायुस्तदपि न मुञ्चत् याशावायुः दिन 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 यामिनी दिन यामिनी दिन yamini together dinyaminyau yaminyau dual number day and night sayam pratah evening and morning shishira vasanta winter shishir vasanta spring. So dual shishira vasanta winter and spring. Punah ayatah ayatah comes again. Punah again. Ayatah comes. आता है. Punah again. Again and again. Day and night keep coming again and again. Morning and evening again and again. Winter and spring it keeps coming again and again. So what? Kalah kridati. Time is playing. As what? आना जाना. दिन आया दिन गया. दिन आया दिन गया. जब दिन गया तो क्या आ गया? रात आ गई. रात गई तो क्या आ गया? दिन आ गया. फिर दिन गया तो क्या आ गया? Look at the words. If you can transfer it into a perception in yourself, what will you get? I'm going to repeat it a few times. दिन दिन है. दिन गई रात आई. रात गई दिन आया. दिन गई रात आई. रात गई दिन आया. दिन गया रात आई. रात गई दिन आया. What happened? Kalah kridati. Kalah kridati. Play of time. And at no time, at no point, no time is there a vacuum in between. Din gaya. Is there a state that there is nothing that you experience? जैसे जैसे दिन गया शाम ढली. सुबह आई शाम आई रात आई. फिर दिन आया रात गई. सुबह आई dawn आया प्रातः आया. फिर this goes on and on and on. Kalah kridati. Time is playing. It's a krida. ये उसकी क्रीड़ा है. It's like you have these automatic bowling machines, golf machines or something. वो बॉल फेंकता है वहां से और आप यहाँ से हिट करते हो. फिर वो बॉल फेंकती है मशीन. फिर आप हिट करते हो. फिर वो बॉल फेंकती है. फिर आप हिट करते हो. As long as there's a ball there that is put in that, it will keep throwing you so that you can have practice. It keeps itself in rotation. It's a rotating thing. It's cyclic. आती है जाती है आती है जाती है आती है जाती है. इसके अंदर कोई अच्छा वक्त आ गया जीवन में. Complete the sentence. अच्छा वक्त आ गया. फिर वो भी चला जाएगा. दिन आया दिन गया रात आई रात गई. दिन आया दिन गया रात आई रात गई, इसके कालह क्रीडति में एक अच्छा वक्त आया, धन जन यौवन आया. What will happen? उसी साइकिल में ये आया और ये गया. दिन आया तो क्या दिन रहा? नहीं रहा. रात आई तो क्या रात रही? नहीं रही. विंटर आई तो क्या विंटर रही? नहीं रही. स्प्रिंग आया तो क्या स्प्रिंग रही? नहीं रही. यौवन आया तो क्या यौवन रहा? नहीं रहा. वृद्ध अवस्था आई तो क्या वृद्ध अवस्था रही? नहीं रही. कालः क्रीडति. He uses a word. This needs a lot of reflection. I have still not come across anybody who has commented on this fully. So many books you refer to, but nobody still has emphasized Kalaha Kridati. This is the main important verb here. Time is playing. ये काल का खेल है. काल का मतलब ही क्या है? What is the meaning of काल? काल. Time मतलब क्या है? What is the meaning? Not a synonym. Kal ka synonym is time. What is the meaning of time? Tick, tick, tick.
Forever moving
Tick.
and changing.
Exactly. As we used to say, second. It by the time you're trying to take that time, if I say it is 7:03, by the time I have said it, what happened to Kal? I'm referring to the past. मेरे कहते कहते वो बदल गया है. That means my saying it is 7:03. When I said it, it was 7:03, 10 seconds. By the time I said it is 7:03, 10, it is already 12. What am I always contacting? What is it that I am always dependent on happiness for? Thinking that ये है. वो सोच कि ये है. It's fascinating. That's why science, if anybody has a scientific background, science in their study as subjects, so much correction science helps us to come to. Now, even when you send your Chandrayaan and all that, and they're sending, the scientists are already amounting for the time gap between what has happened there and when you're receiving the information. Why are we wanting to study the solar system? Because we will get the information of what happened. वो information आते आते इतना साल लगता है. Time travels. Travels means what? In that Mahabharat, वो एक शुरू में आता था काल क्या वचन. Very beautiful it was. I've forgotten at this. Anybody remembers? मैं समय हूँ. मैं समय हूँ. Beautiful description. मैं समय हूँ. And Samay is narrating as a standby, as an observer. Samay becomes the observer and says, ये हुआ. मैं आपको ये बता रहा हूँ. मेरे काल में as a standby, this is what happened in my cycle. And who's the master of that Kal? Who's the Devata of Kal? Yamaraj, correct?
Yep.
Yamaraj. Yamaraj is called Dharmaraj. Yamaraj का पूरा नाम है धर्मराज. Dharmaraj means he is the Kal is governed on the basis of dharma. काल जो बदलता है वो धर्म को नियंत्रित रखता है. उसके हिसाब से बदलता है. So this day and night that is coming is all in the realms of dharma. But the emphasis of the verse is not so much on this. But the first part is very reflective because it will help us to understand the second part of the verse. that this is kala kridati, समय का खेल. Nothing is stationary, nothing is permanent. Even while you say it, it is gone. Even while you try to hold that happiness, it is gone. In the same way, even the opposite experience, अगर रात नहीं आई है तो जाएगी ना. अच्छा वक्त हमेशा नहीं रहता, बुरा वक्त हमेशा नहीं रहता, अच्छे लोग हमेशा नहीं रहते, बुरे लोग हमेशा नहीं रहते. When I have this knowledge, it can really help direct a life experience. आप कैसे अपने जीवन को गति दोगे, डायरेक्शन दोगे, even based on this much is dependent on what you understand from it, of course. But it has a great potential to change life. When I just recognize that this is all fleeting and it's not in my control. काल क्या मेरे कंट्रोल से बदलता है? I love the sunrise. Hey, hold on for a little while, please. I want to enjoy a little more. I want to revel a little more. Ruk, sun, ruk. Don't get up. Just at that point, I want you to stay there for some. I love this orange hue. रुकना थोड़ी देर. क्यों नहीं रुकता? सुन क्यों नहीं रहा मेरी बात? You will have to listen to Kal. Kal will not listen to you. Kal is not in your control. आप काल के कंट्रोल में हो. काल धर्म को नियंत्रित उनका इक्वेशन है. धर्म और काल का इक्वेशन है. एंड काल के साथ स्पेस जुड़ा हुआ है, बट हियर लेट्स स्टिक टू काल. काल और धर्म का इक्वेशन है. यू आर ओनली यू आर उनसे नियंत्रित हो. काल तुम्हें कंट्रोल करता है. इट इज डिसाइडिंग. यू हैव बॉर्न, यू विल डाई. काल ले जाएगा आपको. नहीं, my great grandchild, great grandchild. What is that Yayati story? Wants to live ultimately. So he says, कालः क्रीडति गच्छति आयुः. जीवन निकलता जाएगा. दिन आएगा, दिन आएगा, दिन जाएगा, रात आई, रात गई. शिशिर आएगा, बसंत आएगा, फिर साल गया. In the same way, बाल आएगा, यौवन आएगा, बाल गया, यौवन आया, यौवन गया, वृद्ध आएगा. गच्छति आयुः. इस काल के खेल में your आयु keeps going. आपका जीवन की आयु जा रही है. गच्छति जा रही है. फिर भी क्या? That is the important point. तदपि, even then, न मुंचति. You do not get freed of. It does not. मुंचति actually means you don't have freedom. छोड़ती नहीं है आपको. You don't have freedom. Of what? आशा वायु. वायु आपके जीवन को लेके जा रही है. वायु आपके जीवन को लेके जा रही है. Your pranas is your वायु. उन प्राणों के आधार पे, वायु से आपका जीवन तो जाता जा रहा है. गच्छति. वायु जा रही है. गच्छति. काल आ रहा है, जा रहा है. गच्छति. परंतु किम न गच्छति. जो जाती ही नहीं है. क्या नहीं जाती? आशा, होप. ये जाती ही नहीं है. बाकी सब आ रहा जा रहा है, लेकिन ये आशा जाती ही नहीं है. कौन सी आशा? होमवर्क फॉर यू. डू योर रिफ्लेक्शन. किस आशा की ये बात है? कौन सी आशा है जो जा ही नहीं रही? आयु जा रही है, सब बदल रहा है, सब कुछ जाता है, लेकिन एक चीज जो जा ही नहीं रही है, वो क्या नहीं जा रही? आशा नहीं जा रही, किस चीज की आशा नहीं जा रही? दैट इज योर होमवर्क. यू फिगर आउट कौन सी आशा नहीं जा रही. इज दैट ओके?
Yeah.
So with this we will end the class. Om Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayaः, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्. असतो मा सद्गमय, तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय, मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति.
Dhanyavad, Dipti ji. Very
धन्यवाद.
beautiful class.
Thank you
Very
so much.
beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Hari Om.
Hari Om, Hari Om, everyone. Let me Hari Om ji. Thank you.
Recording stopped.
Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om. Anyone has a question?